Vice President of Sales and Marketing for Great Gulf, and it's my tremendous honor to take you through our program today. Today, we acknowledge the land that we are on is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 of the Mississaugas of the Credit. We're joined today by representatives from each development partner, Great Gulf, Dream, and Westdale Properties, our world-renowned design visionary, Frank Gehry, and his tremendous team, as well as the internationally recognized interior designer, Paulo Ferrari, and the countless other team members who are here to celebrate with us today. Today, we break ground on Forma's East Tower, the first step in fulfilling this incredible vision. To get us started, I'm excited to welcome Spadina Fort York City Councilor Asma Malik, who will share what this project means for Toronto's Ward 10. Councilor Malik.
Couldn't have chosen just a usual day. It had to be a really special day. Thank you very much, Amanda, for the introduction and for taking us so beautifully through this morning and today's program. As was mentioned, my name is Asma Malik, and I'm so proud to be the new City Councillor right here in the heart of downtown Toronto, Toronto's Ward 10, Spadina Fort York. And this neighborhood in particular is incredible for how it is energized by arts and culture and the way that it brings us all together. I want to begin by also thanking the development team, Great Gulf Group, Dream, and Westdale Properties for this invitation and for bringing this all together today. I also want to thank our Chief Planner, Greg Lintern, and the planning team that has been so closely involved in making this a reality. I want to particularly give credit and recognize Suma Calpine, Willie McRae, and Linda McDonald, who is with the city and was able to join us here now today. We're here marking this significant milestone and celebrating the official commencement of construction thanks to your collective efforts and each of your teams. And it's an honor to be here today to share space, especially with the legendary Frank Gehry. Thank you very much for being here. As you have all read and heard, Forma's East Tower was designed to capture inspiration from some of the buildings that were most important to Mr. Gehry in his home city, and welcome home. And that included Old City Hall and the Royal York Hotel. And of course, taking all that inspiration combined with Mr. Gehry's signature brilliance, creativity, and movement, we have the design in front of us today. And Toronto is my home. It's a city that I love. My parents actually immigrated to Canada more than 50 years ago and made Toronto their first home together. And I'm proud to live and work in our downtown communities and have represented them as a school board trustee and now as a city councillor. And my deep belief is that we can work together to build a city where everyone belongs. And what has struck me about this design, and you've recognized it too, is that it is intended to reflect the light and color from our city and provide sightlines from every angle. And while it is stunning architecturally, there is a story of this development that is grounded and provides views and sightlines of what we can achieve together. Because we know that buildings alone don't make a city and a neighborhood special, people do. And in addition to the community consultation that is so important to our development process in the City of Toronto, there was a working group around this development that included residents and local businesses and interested neighbors, and gratitude to each and every person who gave their time and energy and attention to making this process a success. They met multiple times to address key issues and work alongside the development team to get a successful outcome on design and on community benefits. And as design and ideas around this changed and evolved over time, there were larger community meetings that I know Mr. Gehry attended himself to share the plans, hear from neighbors, and make sure that we're bringing people along every step of the way. And among the community benefits that will be part of Forma's legacy are an enhanced streetscape and public spaces for all of us to enjoy, a dedicated space for OCAD University in this first phase of the East Tower, and an art gallery that is open to the public, free of cost, and that will add to the rich arts and culture that is part of our city and part of this neighborhood. These community benefits and partnerships serve as a testament to our commitment to create a development that not only adds to the built city, but also enriches the lives of community members that call Toronto home. We're honored to have Mr. Gehry's expertise and visionary contributions as we embark on this extraordinary project. Mr. Gehry, your unrivaled talent for creating iconic structures and seamlessly blending artistry and functionality, while also being grounded in a belief of the importance of trust and accountability and purpose, is a gift that we're so grateful to get to share in. And thank you so much. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you so much, Councilor Malik. Next, please join me in welcoming Mitchell Cohen, Chief Operating Officer for Westdale Properties, who will speak on behalf of the development team and share more about the vision for Forma. Mitch?
Thank you, Amanda. Councilor, for your great remarks. We appreciate that. Never thought we'd get to this point. Anyways, welcome here to the groundbreaking, the official start of Forma Toronto. And like Amanda, I'm so proud to represent Great Gulf, Dream, and Westdale. It's three incredible companies working together to accomplish such an incredible feat, and we've done it. And I want to acknowledge Ellie, Great Gulf, Ron and Warren, Westdale. Michael Cooper unfortunately couldn't make it, but we're well taken care of from the Dream side with Crystal and Sering. But please give a hand for the three. So I think since we've gone through all this trouble to assemble everybody, we really should reflect a little bit on the past and the extraordinary journey that we've been through. From its infancy, we all knew that Forma would be special. It would take a place on our skyline like never before. Great Gulf, Dream, and Westdale, we are the proud stepfathers to Forma. The true papa was none other but city builder David Mervish. David, please take a bow. I know that we're not inside one of your theaters, we're kind of sitting on a street, but thank you for being here, and thank you for meeting Frank and putting the vision together and allowing us to take care of your child, and it is in good hands. Forma is a celebration of Toronto. As Torontonians, we don't celebrate enough. We're shy, we're sometimes embarrassed about our success. But this time, we're going to show it. The incredible design of Forma will capture the light of Toronto, the essence, day and night. It will signify what Toronto is. And every step you take every tick of the clock, the view of Forma will change. It will be a lasting impression on our skyline, and it will be changed forever. Forma represents the homecoming of a top international talent back to Toronto. Obviously, the homecoming of Frank Gehry, also internationally acclaimed interior designer Paula Ferrari. We welcome both of you back to this project, and it is you two that have made it an incredible success. We're here at a backdrop of a construction site for a great reason. We're underway. And this project would not be underway if it wasn't for the hundreds and hundreds of talented people who have toiled. And when you think about the hundreds toiling over 10 years, I would suspect that thousands of people have put their fingerprint on this incredible project. The ownership group, we're so proud to be able to work with the City of Toronto, our consulting team. I won't forget our lenders back there. Everyone put together. But like the councillor mentioned, the City of Toronto shouldered a lot of the work and did an incredible amount of heavy lifting. If it wasn't for the politicians who steer this city, the urban planners, the designers, the engineers, the architects, the technicians, everybody at the City of Toronto, we would not have been here today. And again, I'd like to thank the City of Toronto. Many thanks also, and they go unnoticed, to the ownership group's internal teams. Our development teams, our sales and marketing teams, our legal teams, financial teams, everybody who works behind the scenes at Great Gulf, Dream, and Westdale. Again, we thank you. And to our internal construction team, you got to get to work. We're over in about 20 minutes. Get to work. Just briefly on the success of Forma. Our sales agents, who many are here, about 51 weeks ago, 51 weeks ago, June 16th, 2022, we launched Forma East at the AGO. And in 51 weeks, we have sold $1 billion worth of real estate, a record. So to our sales and marketing teams, our brokers, Baker Real Estate, who coordinated everything, and to all of our purchasers, we thank you very much. So, before I invite our guest, our friend, our Torontonian, I need to say a few words. Frank, yes, we're talking about you. What do I say about a man who has done the Guggenheim, the Walt Disney Concert Hall? I think our construction guys took me literally, they're working away. What do I say that hasn't already been written about Frank? What do I say about a man who Vanity Fair has said he's the world's greatest architect? But what I can say is, besides a spectacular architect, you're the most incredible, genuine person I have ever met. Frank, you are, over the past 10 years, I've realized that you're a proud Torontonian. And you've never forgotten your roots. You are a proud Canadian. And you wear your Order of Canada medal all the time. But most importantly, Frank, You are like us. You're kind, you're genuine, and you're humble, and we love you for that. And I need to make two quick stories about Frank. Firstly, about 3 months ago, we took about 30 of the super brokers, Frank, to your office, and you toured them around. And after 2 hours of tours, yes, you had a couple of drinks, but you were so proud to take them in to your office and show them your hockey sweaters. You went through your 25 hockey sweaters, and they're all signed. And you even talked to the brokers about when you were in Timmins, Ontario, driving around in the old Cadillac, hoisting the Stanley Cup. And they cherished that moment so greatly. But I think there was one highlight of the LA trip when you graciously accepted our invitation to come for dinner. And Megan and I were a little concerned that you were okay and you weren't being pestered or autographs or whatever. And I look at Frank Gehry, and there he is with his iPhone, thumbing through pictures of his grandkids. That was he wanted to do. Not talk business, he wanted to show off his grandkids. Frank, you're just like us. So, Frank, inspired by the light and essence of the city that remains part of your DNA, you've designed a piece of art that will mark the skyline and inspire future generations to come. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Frank Gehry. Come on up, Frank.
Where am I? So, architecture, I believe, is an art. Some of the greatest artists, El Greco, Giotto, were all architects. So it was a seamless profession between art and architecture. It was never separated. And so I've been practicing architecture that way. And so as a result, I've spent a lot of my time with artists, artist friends. Some of those artist friends had an art dealer called David Mervish in Toronto. So voila, I used to come and meet with David Mervish. He would show me Frank Stella and many other of his artists, and we bonded over that. So it was seamless from there to being asked to do a building. He had these two wonderful theaters. He had King Street, where I used to hang out as a kid. My grandma's house is on Beverly Street, up this a few blocks from here. And so I knew the neighborhood pretty well, and I still felt roots here. I feel part of it. I couldn't help it. You can't avoid it. He said, "Why? I want to build something." I thought it was a few little office buildings or something. It ended up to be bigger and bigger and bigger. That's Mervish's vision conspiring with me, I guess. And from that, we ended up with all the great partners, Great Gulf, Dream, etc., who have all become really complicit in creating a work of art. I think everybody feels that that's what we're doing, that it's very special. It's rare to build two buildings and create a public space that's vertical, which is what this will be. And the centerpiece is none other than Mervish Way, that's so fitting to have the Mervish family honored by this center. I think that was an emotional thing for them and emotional for me. Once you start doing that, you think about the buildings in other cities like Rockefeller Center, where there's an ensemble of buildings that create public spaces at the ground, and it still exists years and years later. And I believe this will have the same kind of impact, that it will become the center, the two theaters, the art galleries, the relationship to the music center, all of the cultural elements that relate to King Street and to Mirvish Way. So I'm excited about being part of it. I've tried to make it so that the building, as it goes up, they're not looking into each other. We're taking advantage of views, and so the elements are turned slightly so you're not looking into the guy's window. It's stupid stuff, but it's basic, and it does, when it's built, you'll understand it. So thank you for having me. Thank you for supporting this. I can't wait. I'm only 94, so I expect to be here for maybe, I gotta be 102, I think. So pray for me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Frank. That was amazing. Now it is my huge pleasure to introduce Ellie Reisman, owner of Great Golf Group, to say a few words. Ellie?
Frank, you're a hard act to follow. And I'm not going to say anything nice about you, because any more sugar on you, you're going to have type 2 diabetes by the end of the day. But thank you so much. I mean, working with you has been amazing. And it's, maybe I'll talk about this project a little differently. I tried to think about something, a line. I looked to see what, there's one line that could represent this project. So I looked and looked and looked, and I couldn't find one. Then I remembered a movie I saw. And probably most of you saw this movie also. It was Russell Crowe in a movie called The Gladiator. Does most people see that? Yeah. Okay, so you remember the opening scene just before he says, "Unleash hell." The barbarians are jumping up and down, the Roman legions are jumping up and down, and he says, "We're going to unleash hell." He talks about what happens when they die, and they're all going to be happy in Elysium. And then he said something that I think is germane to this project. He says, what we do today echoes an eternity. And I couldn't find or think of anything better than that. So I'm speaking on this project on behalf of all the partnership, but I want you to know a little bit about one person that helped me, co-founded my company. It was my late brother, who had an incredible passion. Michelle, you can't start crying, because I would then. Who had an incredible passion for architecture, was part of this. We bought this deal from David, and David, I was going to start by giving you all the credit for this, because without people like David in our city, we don't do great things. This city needs to do more great things. It needs more entrepreneurs, more great people doing it. People think we're greedy developers. David was greedier. He wanted to put 3 towers here, all 100 stories. But thank you, David, because without you, none of this would happen. So we won't take credit for that. So my brother had this passion, and we did buy the site from David, and we brought in Dream and Ronnie's team, and bringing in Westdale is almost like a family. Ronnie and I have been friends, partners for 35, 40 years. He's beat me in golf, I beat him in golf. He beat me more in golf than I beat him. And this is like a family affair, bringing in Westdale. Dream has been a fabulous partner, not just in this project. In a number of projects, we're now working on I think the most profound waterfront development together. We've recently bought Quayside together. We've recently bought the Silos together. And we've done a number of difficult projects, and I'm coming to a point. Frank Gehry buildings are not easy buildings. They're not, Frank. I mean, most people here might think that you take a piece of paper, crumple it all up, and hand it to us and say, here, build this. And it takes an unbelievable amount of talent, which a lot of organizations have, but it takes a lot of experience. It takes a lot of development experience. It takes the ability to have done large projects before. And as a collective team, I probably can't count all the projects. We've done a lot of important projects for the city. We've done, Ronnie and I were partners in One Bloor, which I think changed the dynamics at the corner of Yonge and Bloor. Dream has done the Canary site on the east side. We've done the Globe and Mail building. Across from the Canary site, we put together 60 acres and master planned it. Now will be, I believe, the next downtown of Toronto. So we were ready for this task. We just weren't ready for Frank yet, because we had to build this thing. And he did a marvelous job. We can build it, and it's going to do something that I think everybody here is sick and tired of seeing. If I have to look at one more picture, whether it's the start of the hockey game or anybody else taking a shot at Toronto, and I have to see that CN Tower one more time as the representation of this city, I'm going to throw up. So this building is going to be the skyline of Toronto. And it's not just because it's a great piece of architecture, it's because it's a great piece of inspiration. And if there's anything this city needs, in a city that's built, I don't know, literally hundreds of glass towers, mostly that stand for nothing, we are going to inspire future developers and show them that you can do great projects, that we can do great things, and that we can hire the right people and great people to do it. Because if you don't hire greatness, if you don't start with greatness, you don't end up with greatness. You end up with mediocrity. So I'm hoping that this project starts the city on a new course. I hope, I was going to say a few things to thank some people, but everybody else thanked them. But let me just quickly say, in my experience, 45 years of development, this is the first time I've spoken in public, because we're a very private company. Not that my brother or myself ever offered, and we've had a lot of grand openings like this. I thought it was important to get up and say something. The city, to my experience, when you show them something great, they go all out and they go all in. Most developers sit and complain about the city. It's almost like our national pastime. But we've had a lot of great projects, and the city's been unbelievably helpful in all of them. There's, of course, the talented people, the engineers, the designers, the architects, the team, all that stuff. But there's another group that's sitting back in the corner here called the financiers. And without the ability to put together probably, I don't know, $600, $700, $800 million worth of financing among 6 banks, it comes down to not even a handful of developers that could do this. And without the support and the financial support of our banking and our banking system, none of this even comes close to getting built. It would be another picture. It would be the 0.5% you told me, Frank, that doesn't get built that you designed. That's what would have happened to this. So they're sitting sort of in the weeds, and no one ever recognizes them. But both the city and the financiers, none of this happens without you. So I didn't know I was speaking last. So I was going to say, I'm going to now hand this over to the great Frank Gehry, and unless you want to talk again, I'm done. Well, thank you everybody for coming.
Thank you, Ellie. You're also a tough act to follow. What an honor. Thank you so much, Mitch, Councilor Malik, Frank Gehry, Ellie. That was absolutely amazing. It's rare that all of us get to look behind the scenes in such an intimate and invigorating way, so thank you for your words today. That was amazing. Without a doubt, today marks a significant milestone for our city. And now is the moment we've all been waiting for. It's time to get those shovels into the ground. So a few instructions first. We've scheduled 4 photo opportunities, and we're going to call out a few people by name. When your name is called, come up, grab your shovel, and our team will direct you to the area for the photos. For the rest of our guests, you'll have an opportunity to take a photo after, just shortly thereafter. And in the meantime, we invite you into our presentation gallery. We have a beautiful reception planned with a lovely lunch and drinks served. So please come on and help us continue this celebration. Thank you, everybody, for coming. We really appreciate you.
Thank you.
Okay, so I am going to call up our first photo. So when your name is called, please come up. Frank Gehry, Paolo, Harley, Crystal, Sereng, Amanda, Neil, Ellie, Ron, and Mitch.
All right, guys, here we go. Perfect, yes. You guys, right to me here, please. Guys, all eyes look to me. That's perfect. And Mr. Gehry, just right here, please. Perfect. That's great. Thank you very much. Awesome. Woo!